I've come down today to the Area Trout Club England, which is the only area trout lake currently within the UK that's sole purpose is for the area trout style of fishing. We're going to have a look around today, see a few people and their equipment and find out what it's all about.
Area trout fishing is a style of competition fishing solely targeting trout using artificial lures. The lures used are typically spoons, small hard baits and occasionally soft plastics, all with single barbless hooks. Competitors will be assigned pegs for their 10 rounds, which they compete in to get their qualifying points to enter the quarterfinals, to then go on to the semi-finals, and finally, of course, the finals. Each round is competed 1v1 with each opponent sharing the same 5 metre area. Area trout fishing is one of the very few types of competition fishing where size of fish does not matter. In this case, the aim of the game is to catch more trout within your 20-minute round than your opponent. At the 10-minute mark, the opponents will have the opportunity to swap sides with each other. Should either of the opponents choose to, then they must swap. Points are scored: 3 points for a win, 1.5 points for a draw where fish were caught, 0.5 points for a draw without fish caught, or 0 points for a loss. If there is a tie in points, then the higher position will go to the team that caught the most fish up to that point.
Right, so we'll go over some of the kit. For most of the competitions, they're going to be generally using hard baits, things like spoons, all these little cranks, everything with barbless singles on. I'll get some close-ups and put them in a bit, but these spoons go from tiny things of like half a gram right up to 3.5 grams or more, depending if it's necessary. And they'll change up the weights generally for what depth they're going to fish into the water to find where the trout are feeding. And yeah, various colours. And if what I've been told by a few friends of mine is correct, they'll typically, if they get a hit off a trout and it's not quite committing, they might switch to the exact same type of spoon but a different colour, just to get that same bite but a bit more of a confident hit. I'll take a few close-ups of these, but you've got some crankbaits with a bit deeper diving bills, you've got shallower cranks with a more steep bill, and then these little diddy spoons here, like that one's 0.9 gram. Some of these can cost a fortune. Yeah, some brilliant kit. And then for the rods, it's going to be quite soft, real flexible trout specific rods. This one's a St. Croix panfish. This is 0.8 to 5.3. I have braided line to a fluorocarbon leader on here. It's like £6 braid to a £3 leader. But these guys use stuff that's a lot lighter than that still, with this line called Esther. And I might try and convince them to let me know why they choose Esther over everything else. But if not, I'll put it in the description below. Right, so the Esther line, I've just had explained to me. This stuff here, if you can see it, it's very, very thin. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera, but it's a very lightweight line. And the reason he said for this over the braid is that when the braid catches the wind and lays onto the water, the spoon's going to kind of follow the curve of the braid, whereas with this you've got much more control of keeping it a like nice direct line to the spoon. And as well, he said got to be very careful with this because it is so easily to just break. It's kind of like hair, so but whereas with the braid you can bully them a bit more. So it is a trade-off. You get the more control with this, but with the braid you can just horse them in a bit. Right, so that's a quick bit about area trout fishing. These guys have got an event coming up on May the 25th. If you're interested, there'll be just like information in the description below. Just follow the link, let them know you're interested, because there are limited spaces that they can do for the event, and it's great fun. Like coming down, there's plenty of trout to go out. They release fresh stock for each competition, and it's just great fun. Like, so hopefully see you here on the 25th in a bit.